do salaries, wages works the same way. Okay? Right. In this case, it's a salary. So there's two words that goes with salary. Now, you remember, we have always done salary as an expense. Right. Now, I'm going to put a word in front of it, meaning gross. And a gross salary is my expense. In other words, the expense for salary is what they talk about in real life as the gross. So in other words, what is a gross salary? It sounds very gross. Let me explain. When you apply for a job, they will tell you, okay, you're going to earn 42,000 a month. And then what happens? When you start working, and when you get your salary check, it's 30,000. And you're like, this isn't right. You said that I'm earning 42,000 a month. And then they say, yes, it's your gross salary. Meaning, it's your salary before deductions. Now, there's lots of deductions. And then in the end, you're going to subtract deductions, and then you're going to get your net salary. And your net salary is what they call your take-home pay. Okay. So this is what you actually get. So what is that? So let's quickly see. So, my deductions would be stuff like pay. What is pay? Pay as you earn. Tax. You're going to pay tax on your salary. Okay? And it's a lot. And I will show you how the tax tables work if we have time. And it's literally, the more you earn, the higher percentage tax you pay. Okay? The next thing they're going to deduct, if you work for the government, is pension. Okay. That's usually plus minus 8% of your gross. Okay? That is so that when you retire, they can pay you a monthly pension.
Isn't the UIF also not coming?
Ah, it's coming. So, pension. Then I have my medical aid. Okay. Then you have UIF, Unemployment Insurance Fund. And interestingly enough, the tax and the UIF is both paid over to SARS, South African Receiver of Revenue Services. That's the thing. That's the thing. But all of these things are good, except the tax. Because the tax, we don't see that they really do anything about it. But if people don't pay tax, I won't get paid, because I'm being paid with government funds. But pension fund is a really good thing, because all of us are going to retire. And please, I'm asking you, if you want to be clever, and I know it's going to sound ridiculous now and you're going to forget it, but hopefully one day you will remember it. When you start working, you're not used to a salary yet. Ne? That first salary you get is your first. So what you do, before you get used to the amount of money you get, you go look, how much do they deduct for pension? And you take that exact amount and you go put it in a private pension annuity. Okay? Because that will grow. And by the time you go on pension, remember you work about 40 years. Ne? Let's say you go study, ne? And you start working at the age of 24. You're going to go on retirement, so the government has increased the age now to 67. None of us are going to get there, I'm telling you. So, I am aiming for, I started working at 23, I'm aiming for 63. So that I have worked 40 years. Because then your pension has grown to its peak. It's still going to grow after it, but not exponentially as big as it did up until 40 years. Okay, so you're going to work 40 years. When you retire at 63, my family, my granny, my aunt, they all lived till 88, 92. Ne? So I've got good genes. Not just the ones I'm wearing, but I've got good genes. So it means I might still live 30 years after retirement, or let's say 20 years. Let's say I live 20 years, I die 83. For that 20 years, now remember, when you get your pension, you do not get your full salary that you get when you stop working. You get a percentage of it. So the maximum percentage I can get is 70%. Once I've worked 40 years, I will get 70 or 75%. I think it's 70% of my salary every month. Now, do you think my needs are going to change because I'm on pension? Yeah, some of the things will change. Because most probably, as you know, how most pension funds work is when you retire, you get a third of your savings tax-free immediately. And then they start paying you monthly. Now, what most of us do with that third is we pay off our loan for our house. So that you don't have to pay your house anymore. So you're saving that money. You pay off all your debts so that you can work on cash. But can you see that you're going to have to look after yourself for 20 years without working? 25, 30 years. Can you see why you need to start saving for your pension fund as early as possible? Right? I shouldn't